Hello students, this is Shailaja Vibhute. In the last video, we have discussed about the demonstration for electromagnetic induction, means experimentally how to prove this electromagnetic induction. Then Faraday's law we have learned. In Faraday's law, the magnitude of EMF induced in a circuit is equal to the time rate of change of magnetic flux. Means mathematically if we write, we got E is equal to induced EMF, E is equal to minus d phi b divided by dt, where E is induced EMF, d phi b divided by dt is rate of change of magnetic flux, and the negative sign indicates the direction of induced EMF. Today let us see how to produce changing magnetic flux. So what is magnetic flux? Number of magnetic field lines passing through unit area. Okay. So how to change this magnetic flux? There are different methods. Today let us see the methods of producing changing magnetic flux. Then we will see very interesting law, that is Lenz's law. Then explanation for Lenz's law, and one most important derivation, that is for motional EMF. So first let us see the methods to produce the changing magnetic flux. First method is you can move the conductor in a uniform magnetic field. If conductor is moved in a uniform magnetic field, magnetic lines of force will cut. Due to that, there will be change in magnetic flux. Correct? Then another method is you can rotate a conductor in an appropriately oriented uniform magnetic field. You can change the magnetic flux. Then third one is keep the conductor stationary, change the magnetic field. When magnetic field changes, definitely magnetic field lines will change. Due to that, there is change in magnetic flux. So these are the methods of producing changing magnetic flux. Okay. Now let us see one interesting one. Why there is sparking when an electric current is switched off? Sometimes I think you have seen a spark when the current is switched off. So what is the reason for that one? Switch offing is nothing but you are breaking the circuit, correct? Due to that sudden break in the circuit, large EMF is induced across the gap. That induced EMF, large EMF, will appear in the form of spark. That's why there is a sparking. Okay. Now let us see very interesting law, that is Lenz's law. So in Lenz's law, what we are learning? In Faraday's law, we are getting negative sign. E is equal to minus d phi b divided by dt. The negative sign indicates the direction of EMF, correct? So what is the meaning of that direction of EMF? Why that negative sign? Explanation we are getting in Lenz's law. So now let us see very interesting one, that is Lenz's law. First let us see the statement. The polarity of induced EMF is such that it tends to produce current which opposes the change in magnetic flux that produced it. So what is meaning of this one? To explain this statement, the polarity of induced EMF is such that it tends to produce current which opposes the change in magnetic flux. Means what? Current is opposing magnetic flux. Okay. So how it is opposing? To explain it, we have to take the help of again bar magnet. Okay. In experiment 1, that is magnet and coil experiment, I hope you all are remembering. In magnet and coil experiment, what we had done? We had taken one coil. For that we have connected the galvanometer. Then we took one bar magnet. When north pole of the bar magnet is inserted inside the coil, current starts flowing, means current induces. So galvanometer shows some deflection. I hope you are remembering. Okay. So we have to take that example only to explain this Lenz law. Okay, fine. Here one more point you have to remember. If it is a circular coil and if current starts flowing, you have to check the direction of current. Direction of current means what? Whether current is flowing in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. Remember one point, if current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, that face of the coil behaves as north pole. So let me repeat the sentence. If current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, then face of that coil behaves as north pole. Okay. If current flows in clockwise direction, then the face of the coil behaves as south pole. Okay. So now let us see how to explain this Lenz law with the help of that bar magnet and coil experiment. So I hope you are seeing very clearly. N and S, it is a bar magnet. This is bar magnet. Okay. And this is coil. Okay. Actually coil means you will take like this also. Correct. Means actually other parts of the coil are here, but we have not shown in the diagram. Only one face of the coil you have to consider. This is called face of the coil, which is towards the magnet. Okay. Now when this north pole of the magnet is, bar magnet is, this is north pole of the magnet when it is inserted inside. Okay, inside the coil. Now as we know this one, current induces. Correct. So current starts flowing. Now check the direction. If you check the direction, current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. If it is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, just now I told it behaves as north pole. You are seeing no N, it is written here. So you can remember the diagram so that easily you can understand. So it is anti-clockwise direction, then north pole. Okay. So it behaves as north pole. Now if it behaves as a north pole, what happens to north pole and north pole? They have to repel. Correct. So what is meaning of this one? The polarity of induced EMF is such that it tends to produce current. So it has produced the current now. Correct. Which opposes the change in magnetic flux. It opposes the change in magnetic flux means what? Even it is behaving like north pole. So north pole and north pole repel each other. So definitely you have to move the magnet away from the coil. Now see this diagram. Okay, second diagram. Here say you are moving the bar magnet away from the coil. Okay, see the direction here. It is moving away from the coil. Then what happens if it is moving away from the coil? Current has to change the direction. Correct. So when it is inserted, it is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. This is anti-clockwise direction. Now you are moving it against this coil means definitely current will change the direction. Now it starts flowing in clockwise direction. So if it flows in clockwise direction, this face behaves as south pole now. This is south pole, this is north pole. What happens now? They attract each other. Okay. So when it is attracting, what you have to do? You have to move the magnet towards the coil. If you move the magnet towards the coil, again it changes the direction. It behaves as north. North oppose each other. So you have to take the bar magnet away. So you have taken bar magnet away. When you take it away, current flows in clockwise. It behaves as south. So south pole and north pole attract each other. This continues. So when you move the magnet towards the coil, it opposes. Why it opposes? Because it behaves like north pole. Okay. So when you move it away, it starts attracting. So it is the current induced always opposes the change in magnetic flux. That's why negative sign according to Lenz. So now whatever I have explained, that only it is written here. When the north pole of a bar magnet is moved towards the coil, EMF is induced in the coil. And the induced current, the direction of induced current is in anti-clockwise direction, so as to generate it as north pole. This opposes the movement of the magnet. Then when the north pole is moved away from the coil, EMF induces the current in clockwise direction, so as to generate it as south pole. It opposes the movement of the magnet. So this is explanation given by Lenz. Now based on this only, even we can take this Lenz law as a consequence for law of conservation of energy. So here again the same thing you have to take, that is coil and the magnet. Again once I have not drawn the diagram. To explain this one you can say take the same diagram. Directly I have written the explanation here. The arrangement consists of a coil with a galvanometer and a bar magnet as shown in first diagram. First diagram means which one? Magnet and coil experiment. Okay, that diagram only you can repeat here. When the magnet is pushed towards the coil or pulled away from the coil, the galvanometer shows the deflection. This we know, correct? When bar magnet is moved towards the coil or if it is moved away from the coil, galvanometer shows the deflection. This indicates electrical energy is generated in the coil. So what is the meaning of galvanometer shows the deflection? Current is present, correct? Then this energy is produced at the expense of mechanical energy according to the law of conservation of energy. So how we got this electric current? Very simple one. You are moving magnet, correct? You are moving magnet, or keep the magnet at rest, move the coil, correct? Any one should be moved. Means what? It is mechanical energy, correct? So because of this mechanical energy only you are producing electrical energy. Means what? You are telling conversion of one form of energy to another form of energy. This is according to what? Conservation of energy, correct? Then when north pole of the magnet is pushed towards the coil, the current induced in the coil produces north pole in the coil. This opposes motion of the magnet. Just now I have explained it. When you take north pole and if it is moved towards the coil, the face of the coil behaves as north pole, and north repel each other, so it opposes the motion of the magnet. If this induced current develops south pole, say one question may arise, how you are telling current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction only when magnet is moved towards the coil? Okay, let us take, say it is flowing in clockwise direction. If it flows in clockwise direction, it behaves as south pole, correct? So if this induced current develops it as south pole, the magnet would be attracted, correct? South and north will attract each other. Then it would gain kinetic energy at the expense of nothing, correct or not? Means what? Conservation of energy is not holding good. So this is against to the law of conservation of energy. Therefore, when the north pole of the magnet is pushed towards the coil, the induced current must be north pole only. Means it should flow in anti-clockwise direction only, correct? Hence Lenz law is the consequence of law of conservation of energy. I hope this point is very clear. when bar magnet, north pole of the bar magnet is moved towards the coil, the face of the coil behaves as north pole because current induced is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. If magnet is moved away from it, immediately direction of induced current changes as clockwise and it behaves as south pole. Clear? This is explanation for Lenz's law. Okay. Hence Lenz's law is consequence for law of conservation of energy. You can see in this one, little fast it is, but see it, when north pole is moved towards the face of the coil, it behaves as north pole. When it is moved, suddenly it behaves as south pole. And see the arrow marks there, they are changing when magnet is moved and when magnet is taken away. See the direction. Once it is anti-clockwise, once it is clockwise. Okay. Hope this Lenz's law is clear to you. Now let us move to next one, very interesting one, that is about motional EMF. It is EMF induced in a conductor moving in a magnetic field. Very simple meaning, motional EMF. So after moving the conductor, EMF must induce. That EMF is called motional EMF. Now based on this we have one derivation, most important derivation according to me. If it is asked, it will be for 3 mark. Repeatedly this question is asked. Deduce an expression for the EMF induced across the ends of the conducting rod moving in a perpendicular magnetic field. Means for derivation for motional EMF. For that we have to take one diagram. So in the diagram, I hope you are seeing very clearly cross marks are drawn here. Correct? So cross mark and even you can take dots to, this is called representation of magnetic field. Either you can take cross or dot, they have meaning. In 4th lesson you are going to learn it. Then here magnetic field is represented by the cross mark. Then you have taken here, we have considered PQRS is a rectangular conducting loop. PQRS is, this is PQRS. Rectangular shape you are seeing, no? It is conducting loop. Means what? You have considered the conducting part. Okay? Then it is placed in uniform magnetic field. It is placed in this rectangular conducting loop is placed in uniform magnetic field. In this uniform magnetic field we have placed one conducting loop. In that PQ is this part. Okay, this PQ is part of PQRS, free to move in the magnetic field B. Means easily you can move this rod. It is rod like, you can move this one. Next, B is magnetic field normal to the plane of the paper. So capital B is magnetic field, L is length of the conductor, V is the uniform velocity of the conductor PQ, and X is distance travelled by the conductor PQ. So once again see this diagram. Okay, here this L is length of the conductor, X is breadth of the conductor, and you have to move this PQ because it is free to move in the magnetic field. If you move this PQ, then what happens? You are moving it in a magnetic field, so magnetic flux will change. Due to change in magnetic flux, EMF induces according to Faraday's law. So with what velocity you are moving this PQ in the magnetic field? With the velocity V. Okay, let me repeat once again. This PQ is a conducting part, means you can consider it as a conductor, and it is free to move in the magnetic field. So here it is magnetic field. In this magnetic field you are moving the conductor in this direction. With what velocity? With velocity V. So if it is moved in the magnetic field, this magnetic field lines will cut and there will be change in magnetic flux. So when there is change in magnetic flux, EMF induces. That EMF only we are calling it as motional EMF. Okay. Now let us go to next point. So what is L there? Length of the conductor, and X is distance travelled by the conductor. When the conductor PQ moves towards the left, it experiences the force. Means this force experienced produces current through the loop PQRS. So magnetic flux enclosed by the loop is given by, according to mathematical form of magnetic flux, phi is equal to field into area. So phi is magnetic flux, B is magnetic field, field into area of the loop. Since loop is of rectangular shape, area can be calculated using the formula length into breadth. Okay, length here it is L and breadth is X. So length into breadth. So what we will get? This one, length into breadth, length is L, breadth is X. So substitute it here, you will get phi is equal to B L into X. Okay. So this is for magnetic flux. Now we have to take the help of Faraday's law. According to Faraday's law, magnitude of induced EMF is E is equal to minus d phi by dt. Negative sign indicates the direction of induced EMF. When you are writing the magnitude, neglect that minus sign. So here minus sign is neglected. E is equal to d phi by dt. What you have to do now? You have to substitute value of phi. What is value of phi? D by dt of phi is B L X. Okay. B is magnetic field, L is length, X is breadth. Now this can be written as, once magnetic field is applied, it is a constant. Length of the conductor is not changing, only breadth can change. Breadth means what? Distance covered by the conductor when it is moved can change. Correct? That's why this, if you adjust the terms here, you will get BL dx divided by dt. Okay. So dx divided by dt is nothing but it is velocity, because rate of change of displacement is nothing but it is velocity. So when you substitute dx by dt as v, you will get E is equal to BLV. So E is equal to this dx divided by dt is velocity. Okay. So when you substitute, you will get E is equal to BLV. This is expression for induced EMF. That induced EMF only we are calling it as motional EMF. So what is expression for motional EMF then? E is equal to BLV. B is magnetic field, L is length of the conductor, V is with the velocity with which it is moved in the magnetic field. Okay, very simple derivation, but it carries means it is very important. It is repeatedly asked in the question paper. It carries 3 marks. Okay. Now let us see. This already you know, that is Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule is very simple one. First 3 fingers of right hand should be stretched in such a way that fingers must be mutually perpendicular to one another. Then see the statement, very simple one. If the forefinger, central finger and thumb of the right hand are stretched perpendicular to each other such that the forefinger pointing in the direction of magnetic field. So this is magnetic field. The thumb pointing the direction of motion of the conductor. Then the central finger indicates the direction of induced current. Okay. So forefinger represents magnetic field, thumb represents motion of the conductor, then this central finger represents induced current in the conductor. Okay, let us continue. Thank you.